Susan Axelrod here, the Confidence Coach. Welcome to the Confidence Zone. Why is it so hard to speak with our adult children? I come here into the Confidence Zone most days talking about anything that makes us feel unconfident or at least less confident. This conversation is a very interesting one. I have my own problems with it, but it came to my awareness because there was a big, long thread in a Facebook group of mature women that I'm in and is very, very active and engaged. People go into that group as they go into my own private Facebook group as well, asking questions, looking for honest answers and feedback. This topic of conversation came up and it resonated with me deeply. Why is it so hard to speak with our adult children? How old is adult? Into their maturity, the ones living their lives, not the young people who haven't quite gotten there yet, the younger people, but adult children who are well into living their lives. It's an honest question and an important one for us to kind of explore, like open up a little bit. A lot of times, as I've been told and as I've learned, we want to speak to our adult children to tell them things that we want. We want to say things that we believe. We want to share and impart our knowledge, our wisdom, our opinion. And to be honest, a lot of times they don't want it. Now, I would invite you to go back to your younger years, to your own life and ask, when you were 30, 35, 40, 45, how did you feel about your conversations with your parents? Coming to this conscious awareness at this moment, I wonder, was it hard for your parents to speak to you? We're sitting here feeling offended or personally hurt or whatever it is that you might feel when you think about something you want to say to your adult child. And I wonder, how did our parents feel about talking with us? Something to consider, something to reflect on. But coming back here, I want to ask you, what is it that you want to say? Why do you want to say it? What is it that you're working or wanting or trying to communicate? Our job is to kind of come into this very conscious space, curiously looking at ourselves and what it is that we want to say. So a lot of us want to talk about the future. A lot of us want to talk about our plans. We don't know how to bring it up. They don't want to listen. They're not ready, whatever. A lot of us want to find out how they're doing. How are you doing financially? How are they doing? How are their plans? Are they secure? Is their life and livelihood secure? I mean, basically, that's what we want for our offspring. So we might want to talk about opinions about world events or something, but they don't have time, right? Underlying this feels to me like we just want to connect at a human level with the little humans we created and the humans they've become. It's a really interesting topic of conversation for us to have with each other. If we have spouses or partners, we can have it then with them. We can reflect deeply on the lessons, the oxygen that they breathed growing up in our home. If we have friends, we could curiously explore what the enculturated experience was of our own children and how that came down through the decades or through the generations from our grandparents to our parents to us to them, right? Those are the 4 generations that we can know the most. And we could go further back into legacy history if we want. But coming back to the here and now, ultimately, our job is to ask ourselves, what's happening here? Why is it hard for me to say this? Why is it hard for me to connect with them? Why is it hard for me to communicate them? Without a doubt, we're taking things personally. Ask me how I know. Without a doubt, we're taking things personally as if, oh, they don't care about me enough to connect with me. You know, one time I said to one of my daughters, I don't think it's too much to ask to hear from you once a week. And while she didn't respond, I energetically learned and eventually gleaned, you know what? It was too much at that time to ask to hear from her once a week. How do I know? Because I didn't, right? So we can say what we want, think what we want, feel what we want. But ultimately, if what we really want is to be in good connection, then maybe we just want to ask some more questions. Maybe we want to take out our book of the 4 agreements and review things again. Don't make assumptions. Don't take anything personally, and be even more impeccable with your words. Maybe instead of saying, I don't think it's too much to ask to hear from you once a week, I could have said something like, I have a deep need to hear from you once a week. Is that something that you think you can meet? And then allow them to answer in an honest way and not take it personally if they say, no, Mom, I can't. And so on and so on. This topic of conversation is important because it's how you will be living out the rest of your life in connection with your child. You know, they don't go better and better into their 40s or 50s as we go into our 70s, 80s, 90s. We lay the groundwork now to work towards a total better feeling place and really engage in a way that's deep and meaningful and connected by really living by the 4 agreements and also being curious and asking questions from an open place of a deep desire to be in connection. That's going to serve us better, I think. So I'm curious, what do you think? You know, how well do you connect and communicate with your older adult children? Is it easy for you? Is it fun for you? Is it hard for you? Is it complex for you? Whatever you have to share, I really invite you to share in the comments here, because our having a conversation about this will better support humanity. And your own kids might eventually see it and learn from it as well. All right, friends, I'm curious, how do you communicate with your adult children? Is it hard for you? I don't want to impose on that if that's not the case. So if it's easy for you, please share here so the rest of us can learn. Okay, friends, that's it for today in the Confidence Zone. See you again soon.